All right, guys, going to go through our extras workouts for the week. We are into block number 8, and I'll talk you through what we're going to be taking a look at here. So we are hitting week 1 with some pulling endurance, clean skill transfer, toe to bar pressing endurance, overhead squat, and row progression. So we're moving on from a few things and working into some new progressions. First one, and a few of the guys did this at the weekend at our training day. So you've got this ticked off already. We changed it slightly so that it was a partner workout, but job done. It is an endurance session, and individually you'll be aiming to get 250 calories for the guys, 200 calories for the ladies, and every 2 minutes you'll step off the machine and hit 5 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, and 15 air squats. Okay, so that'll be for time. We did it as a 15-minute AMRAP on Saturday, so slightly different there. If you wanted to give that a go on your own, it'll feel a little bit different just because it won't be in a pair, but you guys smashed that. So that's our endurance A workout for this week. And we're going to be establishing a few different baselines with a lot of our strength movements here. So I'm going to talk you through all of that in a second, but I'm going to go through all our engine stuff for the week first. So Wednesday, we've got the engine marathon training that I am going to be placing into the program if you're wanting to follow along with that. Maybe you're doing some training as well and you want to get better at running. So Wednesday will be a 9k run, and you'll have, as far as I'm aware, that is just a steady, let's see, yep, 9k, just moving, nothing too crazy when it comes to the pace, but that's what we're working with. Engine Thursday is going to be another endurance session. We could call this endurance B. 800 meter run, bike erg, 1600 meters or 1200 meters, and 30 lateral line burpees. So that'll be as many rounds as possible in 30 minutes. Our row progression is going to start with some 45-second intervals. So every 2 minutes, you'll hit 45 seconds of work and 1:15 of rest. The goal is to get as much distance as possible in that 45 seconds. So the idea is to row hard in that work period. So that'll start us off, give you a good idea of what sort of distances you're hitting in 45 seconds, and we can build off of that. And the engine training for Sunday will be some intervals, 1,000 meter intervals at that. You'll rest a minute and 30 between. The goal is to just move at a conversational pace in between as you rest or walking, depending on your running ability. Our strength work then, we're hitting a strict press, 5x5, going up as heavy as possible. That'll be Monday's strength work. The idea here is we're getting a baseline, bit of a benchmark for our strict press. It is a movement that's notoriously difficult to improve on, so that's going to be our goal. Pulling strength on Tuesday, another 5x5, this time of a bent over row. Bent over row, you're not going to go quite as heavy as you would for the likes of a deadlift or maybe some other pulling style movements, but it's probably the one that we can go one of the heaviest on. Okay, so it's nearly like a moderate strength training day. Our strength then for Wednesday, we're going to be hitting 5x4 overhead squat, and that is again establishing a bit of a baseline for our overhead squat, really focusing on positioning and depth in the squat every single time. We've got some arms work then on Thursday. Not going to be a We're not going to be hitting a baseline here. Our arms work is really just to get a little bit of muscle gain in the arms, biceps, triceps, and work through some ranges of motion. So alternating dumbbell bicep curls, overhead tricep extensions, and dumbbell pullovers, which are great for building the chest and actually really good for building some strength for our toe to bar. We then have our strength on Friday, which will be some single leg progression work, and this is going to be 6x12 of a back rack lunge, and the idea is getting a baseline for 12 reps, going as heavy as you can. That's obviously 6 on each leg, but that accumulates over those 6 sets, so it'll be a good kind of baseline for our single leg strength. And finally then, our skills progressions. This block will be starting with some core progressions, which we did on Saturday there. Got kicked off with some landmine rotations, some med ball dead bugs, and toe to rig. They were a great way to build some stability and static strength in our midline. But also with the toe to rig, we were able to practice really opening up the hamstrings, getting a nice flexion through the spine and through the hip, and getting our toes to the rig from a lying position. Our skills on Wednesday will be some skipping progressions. We'll be doing some Tabatas of dot drills, single unders, and power jumps. Really working on accuracy of jump, and also practicing the amount of power we're putting into the jump with the single under, where we don't need to jump as high, but then a power jump where we're learning to jump higher and rebound into that higher jump. Our skills for Thursday will be our toe to bar progression. This is a bit of a baseline we're trying to find here, and every minute for 8 minutes we'll hit 10 toe to bars. Okay, we did that with our kipping pull-ups to finish last week, so this is going to be a nice way to see how that's looking for our toe to bar. Skills then for our barbell work, and more specifically our Olympic lifting, will be looking at hip extension, clean pulls, hang muscle clean, and a push press. And the idea here is trying to train the hip to open as fast as possible, so that we need to do as little work with the arms, but the work that the arms do have to do will be very will be essentially heightened and be improved because that hip is opened effectively. And our skills then to finish out the week for Saturday will be some more skipping work. We're starting to combine our skipping work with some plyometric work, and I know skipping is plyometric work in and of itself, but we're going to be more targeting different variations of plyometric movements, not just using a rope. This is going to be similar to the previous week in that we're going to be hitting some depth, drop, and box jumps. But instead of the vertical jump, we're going to combine that with the broad jump, where we're thinking about forward movement in our jump instead of the vertical jump where we're standing in place. And then double unders for 30 seconds. And we'll be looking for kind of max reps there, as opposed to our 24 double unders last week. So that'll be a slight switch up in that, building up that explosive jump power. So guys, I hope you have a great week with your extras, and I can't stress it enough. If you plan on doing a progression, pick one movement or two at the max. So say for example you're wanting to work on all three, engine, skills, and strength. Pick maybe one engine workout or two maximum. I would encourage you to doing the row progression, as we will be building on that movement. Pick one or two max of the strength progressions, so pressing and pulling, or pressing and overhead squat, or pulling and overhead squat, or single leg and one of the others, just so that we're not overloading the body. If you're going for your skills, a core progression session is always a good one to lock in there. It's usually pretty quick, and it's not going to be crazy taxing for the rest of your week. Your skipping work, if you're wanting to really nail down on your skipping, prioritize that stuff. If you're wanting to get your double unders, make sure you do your skipping sessions. And then if you're working on gymnastics stuff, your toe to bar progression is going to be the way to go there. And if you're really keen on improving your barbell efficiency with the clean, I would do that plus one strength day. I wouldn't do any more than that. So it's just trying to work these things out so that we're not overloading the body. If you're doing classes as well, it can start to get pretty beefy. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I will speak to you soon. Train to train another day, guys.